We don't want our supplements sitting on your counter, cupboard, or cabinet for weeks, months, years, because that's a waste of money for you, and the product isn't doing what it's there to do, and you're not utilizing the benefits of all there is to natural supplements.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
Good morning, everyone. We have a new topic coming up today, and that is going to be how to remember to take your supplement. So this is a question that came up from our group, and I thought, why not talk about it now? And I'd imagine there's some people that might have some requests or suggestions. So I've got some different tips for you to give you a better idea on how to take your supplements. So I feel like, first of all, it's worth noting that when you are taking natural supplements, it's important to take them all the time. So instead of taking natural supplements like pharmaceuticals, you only take pharmaceuticals when you need them. So consider antibiotics, for example. You take antibiotics for a short amount of time. Once you're done with those, you're finished. You don't need them anymore. You're looking at Advil, for example, or for a headache. If you have a headache and you pop Advil, it usually goes away right away, but you don't keep taking it, right? It's completely different. It's a much different ball game, if you will, when it comes to taking natural supplements. So it's important to take them on a regular basis. So take them all the time consistently, and that will help. So that's the first thing, is to understand that consistency wins out with most things, but especially when we're talking about nutraceuticals, you want to stay on track with your supplements and make sure you're taking them on a regular basis. So the problem or the concern comes up, how do I remember to take them on a regular basis? So let's get into it. So one of the first things it's important to understand is that I don't feel like you have to remember all the time. I know that sounds funny, or maybe counterproductive. You don't. So when I say you don't have to remember to take them all the time, I mean that once you get into a routine of taking your supplements on a regular basis, it's not something that you have to continually think about. So let's say what I would suggest is that you have your supplements, it's a number one tip for you, you have your supplements at the same day, at the same time. So if you do that on a consistent basis, you start doing it without thinking about it. So let's say you wake up, and we recommend our Spirulina tabs in the morning, for example. So you wake up and you have your Spirulina tabs. First thing, you get up and you head over to the counter. Maybe they're even on the nightstand right next to you. And you pop your Spirulina tabs, and then you get on with your day. If that's the first thing that you do, and you do it all the time, every morning, you don't think about it much, then you're not going to continue to think about it or forget about it. So having that consistent routine, what I'm going to talk about, which I'll keep mentioning here throughout this conversation, is having consistency with when you're taking your supplements is super important, because you're not always going to have to try to remember to take it. You're not always going to have to think about it or say, oh shoot, I forgot to take my supplements. And I hear that quite a bit, which is unfortunate, because I don't want, we sell supplements as a company, and we don't want our supplements sitting on your counter or cupboard or cabinet for weeks, months, years, because that's a waste of money for you, and the product isn't doing what it's there to do. It's not helping you out, and you're not utilizing the benefits of all there is to natural supplements. So we got to take it consistently, and then we have to understand that I feel like sometimes people start taking supplements, or they avoid taking supplements because they feel like they're never going to be able to take them on a regular basis. So they're like, I've tried that before. It just sat in my cupboard. kind of a waste of money, so I'm not going to buy supplements again. When we onboard people, like we're working with people in our MAP program, we see a clear difference. And I tell everyone this, that you don't have to buy supplements. You certainly don't have to buy our supplements, but we see a clear difference between those people that do take natural supplements and those that don't. And those, of course, are quality supplements. You be hard-pressed to find a lot of good ones out there. And the better ones cost more money. That's all there is to it. Someone on one of our Facebook groups said, one of my challenges is paying for good quality supplements. And that's all there is to it. Like across the board, anything you look at, the higher price, the better quality, in my opinion. And I'd rather buy less of better quality than more of lower quality. And many times people go to that big blue store at the edge of town. They go to discount racks at the grocery store or pharmacy. And the other one is pharmacy, right? In my opinion, pharmacies are more built for pharmaceuticals. They're not built for natural supplements. So you're going to a pharmacy, that's like going to a steakhouse and ordering a salad, right? I've done it before. It usually doesn't turn out very well. In most cases, they specialize in steak. In steak, because they're a steakhouse. So you go and order a salad or a veggie stir fry. Not exactly their specialty. So that may not be the best choice if you're going to buy specialties. If you're going to buy something specific, like a natural supplement, you go to a place where they specialize in natural supplements. So there's another tip for you. If you're ordering low quality supplements, they're probably not going to make a big difference, right? Like I hear people all the time that say, "Oh, I've been taking magnesium for years." And I say, "What have you noticed?" Not much. And then you look at the flip side of the coin that people say, "Oh, I can't believe how well your magnesium works." It's quality. That's it. And in most cases, you pay more for quality. So if you're going to the discount rack and you're looking for the cheapest form or the cheapest priced product of whatever it is, doesn't even have to be supplements, you're not going to be happy, or at least it's not going to have the same benefit as something of higher quality. So that's definitely worth mentioning. Those of you that may be listening as a podcast, we are streaming live on one of our Facebook pages. So if you would like to join us on Facebook and you're only listening as a podcast, you can join us for a full video version in the future. So, okay. The next one is, for me, it's important to set them out the night before, or it doesn't have to be the night before. It could be set out a week in advance. Let's start off with the night before. So if you set your supplements on the counter in the same place the night before, when you get up, the first place you go is, where do you go? I don't know where you guys go. Tell me in the comments, where's the first place you go when you wake up in the morning? Maybe to the bathroom? I'm not sure I'd tell you to leave your supplements in the bathroom, but that's where a lot of people put their pharmaceuticals, so maybe it's not much of a difference. I personally wouldn't keep my supplements in the bathroom. So let's go to the second place you go in the morning. It's probably the kitchen. At least that's where I go. And for me, like I sleep for about 7 hours a night. And the last thing I take in the evening is activated charcoal. So I take Chlorella around supper time. I take activated charcoal right before bed. And then, so the first place that I go, if not the bathroom, it's the kitchen. And that's because I want nutrients in my body. My body just went through 7 hours of a fast, if you will. And without having nutrients in your body for that amount of time, that's why our body needs some help. That's why we wake up tired and groggy and sometimes miserable, unfortunately. So what I do is I go straight to the kitchen and hit my supplements, because that's the quickest way to get nutrients into your body. And I know that I've just spent a reasonable amount of time not having anything. I'm talking about food or water or nutrients going into my body. So I would like to have nutrients going into my body as soon as possible. That's why I go straight to the kitchen and I have my supplements put out the night before. So what we're trying to do is increase convenience, right? So the more convenient something is, the more inclined you are to do it, right? Or to use it. Like I talked about this recently, Starbucks, their business plan was to be on corners that are easily accessible, right? I think McDonald's was very similar. It's not an accident. Those are leading brands in their field, right? So everything's out of convenience. I was thinking about that with books the other day. Like really like to read books, like physical books instead of ebooks. My book sits out on the counter. I can see the book I'm reading now. It sits out on the counter. Anytime I go and stack something on top of it, I forget about it. Sounds crazy, right? Even though I have a pretty good routine of reading every morning, if I start stacking, I stacked my laptop and I stacked I have a written notebook. Those of you that are listening, I'm showing my written notebook. Maybe I'm a bit old school, but I had my book. It's quite a big book. I fold up my laptop, put it on top, and I put my book on top. Nice, neat little pile. I was done for the day. And I was like, wait a second. I know better because I want to read my book in the morning. And if it's not in front of me, then I don't think about it. It's crazy, right? So I took my laptop and notebook and put it beside my book so it was out and I could see it. And that's what we need to do with supplements, because if it's not on our mind, we tend to forget about them. And a lot of people aren't, at least at this point, aren't in the habit of putting their supplements out before. And that's another reason why I want you to put it out, because it's sitting out there on the counter. It's pretty difficult to have them out on the counter and not take them, right? So we got to have it on top of our minds, which means it's out in front of everyone, and it's not hidden. And that's one of the issues with when we have our supplements pushed in the back of the cabinet. So I see it all the time. People open up their cabinet and that's where their supplements are. And if that works for you, that's okay. But for most people, it doesn't work. And I know it probably seems a bit cluttered if you have a handful of supplements on the counter. Personally, I don't think you need a ton of supplements. I wouldn't even suggest a ton of supplements. You have a few good quality supplements that meet all of your needs. I used to have a whole tackle box full of pills, powders, and potions. And I never felt worse, to be honest with you. I thought I was doing myself a favor by adding all these supplements, and I was taking like handfuls of supplements. And that was when I didn't really know much about supplements, and I didn't know about quality. I didn't know about ingredients. I was just jam-packing my body with supplements, and I probably didn't do it a service, maybe a disservice, with all the horrible ingredients in most supplements. So in my opinion, you don't need a ton. And I'm not talking about a multivitamin. Not a fan of multivitamin. We use our greens for multivitamins because they have 40 vitamins and minerals. And then we use other supplementations outside of that. Magnesium, vitamin C, D2 plus K. So we have a few supplements. And then, of course, we use food, right? Like food is important. I don't think you can replace your bad diet with supplements, right? And at the same time, if you're not eating food, those supplements aren't going to replace from the nutrients that you found in food. We believe, live, and teach for the 4 macros. That's where we found the most success with our clients. That's from muscle gaining to losing weight to improving digestion to feeling better. That's the 4 macros. And here's the thing, like people come to us with all kinds of stories because there's all kinds of nonsense out there and we don't know, right? Like it's not our job to know. It's our job to probably try and guess and test to see what works for us. But people, like, there's one program out there where it's like 2 packaged meals or packaged food stuff, snacks or whatever, and a shake. And then when they start eating food again, they increase their calories and start gaining weight because that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable financially, and it's not sustainable on your body. That's not a long-term solution. That may be able to help you short-term, but I don't feel like having that type of mindset is going to get you the results that you're looking for, especially not long-term. Like for us, we have our weight loss stage where we teach to increase your metabolism and burn body fat. And then we have our maintenance stage where we teach you how to keep those results forever, because I feel like that's lacking for most people. They join a program and then they get off their program and they gain all their weight back. For us, we want you to be able to keep your results regardless if you're working with us in the future or if you go off on your own. You still have the knowledge and the step-by-step process of how to do that. Often it's the implementation or the coaching or the accountability that we need on top of that. But regardless, you're going to know how to follow up a proven path to success to get your ideal body weight and keep it there, right? So, I mean, and natural supplements help with that. In my opinion, it's super important to understand that there's a difference between low quality supplements and good quality supplements. And there's a difference between clean ingredients and really bad ingredients that are toxic and do damage to our body. So, and I'm talking about at the cellular level. That's a tough word for me to say. Okay, so let's go back to a few more tips. I'm just talking more specifically, like these are tips to help you understand that they need to be out in front of you on a regular basis. And sometimes you have like a good quality fish oil should probably be in the fridge. Right? I don't take fish oil. I would take chia seeds instead. It's one of the few seeds that will give you your omega-3. But there's other benefits to fish oils, of course. You can look at DHA. They're super important for brain health. But again, a well-balanced, I also consume fish, like the actual fish itself instead of a fish oil pill. And then I would supplement, with quotations, with chia seeds. Again, that's a food. For lack of a better term, it's a seed, but it's not a supplement. So I really feel like it's important that we consume food along with supplements. But it's a lifestyle thing, right? You have food and supplementation, and you have activity and exercise. It's not just one thing. A lot of people, when we talk to them, they say, "Oh, I'm pretty good with nutrition, but I'm not very good at exercising." Or it's the opposite, right? I'm pretty good with exercising, but I'm not really good at nutrition. And then on top of that, we don't have the community or the support. So for us, it's 3 pillars to get the whole picture you're looking for. And that's coaching / community and support. Some people may have that at work or at a gym or another facility. Few do. And then you have your accountability, someone that's going to hold you accountable and say, "Hey, did you get this done? Are you on track?" And that's super important. A lot of times we feel like, I talk to so many people that say, "I feel like I should stay on track and be able to do this on my own, but I don't know why I'm not." And I'm like, who can do it on their own, right? Very few, very small percentage of people can do it on their own. I used to think it was athletes. And I had this conversation with a friend, and he said, and I said, I don't think anyone could really stay on track long term. It's just not really, like, in most cases, that's not part of our lifestyle. It's not part of our DNA. There's so many temptations. We're all like, it's easier to sit on the couch. Like, you don't even leave. There's no Blockbuster anymore, right? You don't leave your house to go get a movie. You sit on your couch. You don't go to, in most cases, we don't go to friends' houses. We sit there and we talk to them on social media, right? Or you don't even go hang out with them. You just see what they're doing. Like, everything is so convenient. And now what Facebook wants to do with their whole meta world, you're never going to leave your house, right? So like, that's the world we live in, is convenience at your fingertips, and you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. So it's making even things even more challenging for you to stay fit and healthy. So he was just saying there's just a very small amount of people that could do that, if anyone. And I said, yeah, well, I was thinking that athletes may be more motivated because that could be their job. It could be their lifelong dream to be a collegiate or professional athlete, whatever it is. And he said, yeah, but I didn't think about this. He said, yeah, but he said they have a coach or manager, and they have a team, which is a community. And they have someone making sure they have like a goal that they're working toward, and that's winning a championship, right? So you could even look at the most motivated people that I've ever been around as athletes at a high level, and they don't do it on their own. They have a coach and a team and community, which is everything that you need to succeed. So for people to say, "Oh, I'm just going to take supplements," that's probably all I need to do. You're probably not going to see the results you're looking for. Or, it's not one thing. It's not just fitness. I'm just going to work out and eat whatever I want. It doesn't work. I've seen people at the gym all the time. When I used to work at the gym or being at the gym, they'd be doing their curls, talking about wing night and going out for beers, right? Then they look the same every day, right? But they probably were going to the gym for different reasons. Okay, so the last tip that I want to leave you with is set an alarm on your phone. I don't know why more people don't set alarms. I don't know why. Can you guys tell me in the comments why you wouldn't set an alarm? I'd love to hear. any ideas or any suggestions on why that wouldn't be a good idea? Because here's the thing is that we have so much going on. And Dorothy said this thing. Dorothy's like, oh my gosh, because she's doing meal plans, she's doing coaching. You could probably hear our little man in there. We got a 1.5-year-old at the time of this recording. And she's got a lot going on her plate. And she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot whatever it was. I forgot the stuff on the food on the barbecue, or I forgot stuff in the oven. Like, what's going on? What's wrong with me? And I said, nothing's wrong with you. You have a million things going on in your life. So she's like, I didn't realize why my mom set an alarm for everything. And she says, now I know. And I don't know why we're resistant. I feel like we're resistant to setting an alarm because we feel like we should remember. And if we have to set an alarm, it's like a crutch and something that it makes us feel weak, right? Or not so much not worthy, but it makes us feel like incompetent, or we're not able to keep up with everything. But I set alarms all the time, like set alarms for meditation, set alarms for coaching calls, set alarms for workouts. Like, I don't see a problem with that, because I get so focused on what I'm doing, I forget about everything else. And then 2 hours goes by and I missed something a half hour ago, or I don't block off my workout. And if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's missed, right? So that's why it's important to set alarms. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you if you have to set an alarm. So if it's 6 o'clock, like if you set an alarm to get up in the morning, maybe, I just thought of this, maybe the resistance is you set an alarm for your wake up call, and you really dislike getting up in the morning to an alarm to go to work, right? Is that I don't set an alarm. I don't know if that's helpful. I don't set an alarm. I get up just naturally quite early. And then I just get on with my day. I got my morning routine and I get to work, and that's it. So if you don't need an alarm for your wake up, I would suggest not using one. If you need one, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I would imagine most of the world, at least in North America, sets an alarm to wake up. But there's nothing wrong with setting an alarm for your supplements. So if you're up at 6 o'clock, you set your alarm for supplements at 6:30. Or if you're up at 7, set whatever. I would suggest getting supplements. That's one of the first things I do, without question. I don't think about it. And then I usually have a banana and peanut butter because I'm starving when I wake up. That's before breakfast, right? I have banana and peanut butter. Often I have a protein shake and then I have breakfast. I know that's a lot for a lot of people, but most people don't eat anything in the morning, which is why your metabolism has come to a screeching halt. Everyone's like, I can't burn any body fat. I've tried everything. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, have you tried eating in the morning? No, I'm too busy. Okay, well then you're too busy to burn body fat, right? Like there's no other way around it. If you want to start seeing results, you start eating in the morning and start changing your regular routine. Because most people, the more changes or the more adjustments you're willing to make in your life, the more results you're going to see. The thing here is that most people, they want to take small increments of steps. And I feel like this was a bit of a mistake that we dealt with early on. And we started to understand that if you don't see results, people aren't going to stick to a program. So we used to do a bit more incremental changes for people. And then we realized that those incremental changes are often too small to see enough results for people to stick with it. So that's why we flipped our MAP program on its head. And we said, okay, if we want people to stick with the program, we're going to need to show them results in a short amount of time. That's why we average 8 pounds in the first week for our clients. The first week alone, most 6-week programs don't average that in the entire program. So for us, we show instant results, which is an instant buy-in to keep you motivated and on track to show you results so you can keep living a healthy lifestyle. So that's why we throw people in full tilt. And that's why we don't take everyone and anyone. We want to make sure people are 100% ready mentally and emotionally to start a program and jump in with 2 feet. Some people I've talked to for a couple months. Sometimes some people I've talked to for a couple weeks. Other people, whereas the next day, let's do it. You're 100% ready and in. That's why we have application questions, and that's why we have a conversation. And you know what the thing is that we work quite closely with our clients. Like yesterday, I had a full day of calls. Every hour or every half hour-ish, I had calls. And those people, I was blown away by our audience. Like everyone is grateful and positive and upbeat and motivated to reach their goal, which motivates me. If I was sitting on the phone, or we do Zoom calls, if I'm doing a Zoom call and I'm sitting across from people that were miserable, ungrateful, didn't like our services, didn't particularly like me, which is okay. Not everyone has to like me. It'd be very challenging for me to get through my day, but I wake up and I love what I do because of the people I get to work with. So often we have conversations with people and they're short, maybe a bit rude, they're not all that positive. To be quite honest with you, I don't really want to work with them because they'll negatively influence my day. So that's another reason we have conversations with people. I had a couple short conversations with a couple people this week, and they're like, I don't want, like, just tell me about the program. I don't really want to talk. And I was like, well, we're going to talk a lot in the program. So if you're not really interested in having a conversation, then this probably isn't the right fit for you. And that was it. Okay, bye. See you later. They weren't really interested in talking, which is fine. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with this, and I'll let you go, is I put activated charcoal on our nightstand. So that's the last thing we take before bed. Activated charcoal that sits on the nightstand is not negotiable. It's like we don't even think about it. It's on the nightstand. There's water and charcoal pills. Pop, done. And those are important for us because we want to detox our body every night. That's what sleep does. Sleep helps detox our brain. It detoxes our mind. There's actually, I'm not sure if it's a chemical or a process that we go through while we sleep to actually detox. It's actually really cool. That was a really cool case study I was reading about. And so hopefully that's helpful to put your stuff out on the nightstand. I want to leave you with that so I can get you out of here on a reasonable time. We have a little black dress event coming up. I've been slowly leaking some information about it. That's coming up November 25th. Save the date. We just want to have some fun. It's going to be a dinner, dance. It's going to be an olds. There's a lot of people that could use some happiness and joy and excitement. The event's going to be around inspiration. And it's just going to be a fun night to relax and have fun, meet some people. A lot of people we only meet through social media or online. So we're going to have the opportunity to meet people in person and have a good time. And it's going to be amazing. We've been working on it for a while now. I've been wanting to do something like this for years. And it's one of those things where I'm almost scared to share it, to say it out loud, because then it's going to be reality and we're going to have to make it happen. And then my mind goes to all the things, like all the excuses of why we maybe shouldn't do it, because it's not the right time or because it costs too much. The same reason people don't join exercise programs when they know they need it, right? I feel like we need this event. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a super fun. And I hope that you guys are consider joining us for a night of fun and some human interaction without electronics. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining live. If you're checking this out as a podcast, we appreciate that as well. We have a podcast, Exploring Mind and Body. All past shows are on exploringmindandbody.com. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining live. Appreciate all of you. And hopefully those tips helped. If you have any questions about your supplementation, when to take them, how to remember, if I wasn't clear enough today, let me know, and I'll certainly help out. Bye, everyone.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on facebook.com/trueformlife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.